The winter wind was howling outside, rattling the window panes of my small apartment, but the real chill was inside my chest. It was the first week of December, and I was holding my phone with a trembling hand. On the other end of the line was my only daughter, Courtney. She had moved to the city 5 years ago, married a wealthy corporate lawyer, and gradually built a life that seemed completely detached from the modest, blue-collar world she grew up in. "Look, Mom," Courtney said, her voice smooth, detached, and utterly devoid of warmth. "We're hosting the holiday party for David's firm this year. His senior partners are coming, and honestly, the guest list is incredibly exclusive. We just think it would be best if you didn't travel down this year. It's going to be a very high-profile, sophisticated event, and we wouldn't want you feeling out of place or overwhelmed. We'll just mail you your gift, okay?" The underlying message hit me like a physical blow. She wasn't worried about me feeling overwhelmed, she was ashamed of me. She was ashamed of my worn hands, my simple clothes, and the fact that I spent the last 30 years working a cash register to put her through a university where she could meet people like David. I swallowed the immense lump in my throat, trying to keep my voice steady. "I understand, Courtney. Have a nice Christmas," I whispered, hanging up before she could hear me break. I sat in the silence of my living room, looking at the small, unfinished knitted sweater I had been making for my grandson, feeling completely discarded. To my own daughter, I was just an embarrassing relic of a past she wanted to erase. Determined not to spend the holidays drowning in self-pity, I decided to pour my energy into my neighborhood. For years, I had volunteered a few hours a week at Hope Harbor, a local, underfunded shelter for women and children. With my holidays suddenly completely empty, I began spending 12 hours a day there. I organized toy drives, cooked massive pots of hearty stews, and listened to the stories of people who had truly lost everything. In giving them warmth, I found a way to heal my own broken heart. The shelter's director, a kind man named Marcus, noticed my dedication. "You're the backbone of this place, Eleanor," he told me one morning. "I don't know what we would do without you." A week before Christmas, a massive, unprecedented blizzard struck the region. Temperatures plummeted into the negatives, roads were completely blocked, and the city's infrastructure began to fail. Emergency shelters were overwhelmed, and Hope Harbor was stretched to its absolute limit. The heating system in our main building suddenly broke down, leaving dozens of mothers and terrified children shivering in the freezing dark. The city resources were entirely deployed elsewhere, and our calls for emergency assistance went unanswered. We were completely on our own. Knowing that the children wouldn't survive the night in those temperatures, I didn't hesitate. I drove my old, battered pickup truck through the blinding snowstorm, making multiple dangerous trips back and forth to my own apartment and local hardware stores. I used my own savings to buy heavy-duty space heaters, donated every single blanket, quilt, and winter coat I owned, and even brought my own kitchen appliances to the shelter to boil water and keep people warm. When the food supply ran low, I walked door to door in the freezing wind, begging local businesses for donations. For 48 hours straight, without a single hour of sleep, I kept those families alive, wrapping crying toddlers in blankets and ensuring the shelter remained a safe haven in the middle of a deadly crisis. By the time the storm finally broke on Christmas Eve, a local news crew managed to dig their way through the snow to cover the city's survival stories. They arrived at Hope Harbor expecting a tragedy, but instead, they found a warm, organized sanctuary. Marcus immediately pointed the cameras at me. "This is Eleanor," Marcus told the reporter, his voice thick with emotion. "When the city forgot about us, she risked her own life in a blizzard to save over 60 women and children. She is a true guardian angel." The reporter, deeply moved, turned the microphone to me for a live, national broadcast. Exhausted, with no makeup, wearing a stained winter jacket, and my hair completely disheveled, I looked directly into the camera. I didn't speak about politics or logistics. I spoke about love, sacrifice, and the true meaning of the holidays, which is about protecting the vulnerable, not hosting sophisticated parties. The interview was incredibly raw, emotional, and powerful. Within hours, the segment went viral across the country. It was picked up by major national networks, and my face was on every breaking news alert. On Christmas morning, as I finally sat down in the shelter's kitchen with a hot cup of coffee, my phone began ringing incessantly. It was Courtney. I let it ring 3 times before answering. The moment I picked up, Courtney's voice rushed through the speaker, high-pitched, frantic, and entirely different from the cold tone she had used weeks ago. "Mom, oh my God, Mom. Are you okay?" she cried out, though the panic in her voice didn't sound entirely like worry, it sounded like social panic. "David's boss saw you on the national evening news. The CEO of the entire firm called David this morning. They are talking about your bravery in their corporate group chats. Everyone is asking who you are, and David told them you're my mother. Mom, the partners want to fly you down to the city next week to present you with a massive charity donation for your shelter. You have to come. We're setting up a beautiful guest room for you right now." I listened to her breathless excitement, looking down at my worn, calloused hands. She didn't call because she missed me. She didn't call because she regretted breaking my heart. She called because my sudden, national heroism had given her social currency. My worth in her eyes hadn't changed because I was her mother, it had changed because the people she wanted to impress now thought I was important. "Courtney," I said softly, interrupting her frantic planning. The room around me was filled with the sounds of children laughing and unwrapping donated toys. "Yes, Mom, let me know what time your flight is, David will book first class." "I'm not coming," I said, my voice completely calm, filled with a peaceful, unshakable clarity. "I have a lot of work to do here at the shelter. The families here need me." "But Mom," Courtney stammered, her voice dropping into a desperate whisper. "You don't understand. David's partners are expecting you. It looks incredibly good for our family. If you don't come, it's going to look so bad for us. Please, just do this for me." "No, Courtney," I replied, a sad smile touching my lips. "A few weeks ago, you told me I would feel out of place at your sophisticated events. You were right. My place isn't under crystal chandeliers with people who judge a person's worth by their clothes. My place is right here, with people who see my heart. I'm glad my news segment helped David's firm decide to donate to charity, and you can tell them to mail the check directly to Hope Harbor." Before she could say another word, before she could plead or make another excuse, I gently pressed the end call button. I turned off my phone and put it away. For years, I had desperately craved my daughter's acceptance, bending over backwards to fit into a mold she would approve of. But as I walked back into the main hall of the shelter, greeted by the warm smiles and grateful hugs of the people I had saved, I realized I didn't need to earn her respect anymore. I had found my value, and it was simply not in her budget to buy it back.